What's up, desktopers? Xavier Wills here for Desktop Bodybuilding, and we are back with another video. And today I'm discussing Dani Younan. We've got an exclusive on him, which contest he's doing and which division. Shawn Rhoden, hope for the 2021 Mr Olympia. Akim Williams looking insane, 12 weeks out of that Chicago Pro. Dwayne Walker peeled at 4 days out of the Indy Pro, and Blessing Awodibu finally shows off those quads in a physique update. So we're going to start with Shawn Rhoden and the hope that he can compete in that 2021 Mr Olympia. Now, we all know the reason why he can't actually compete in the Mr Olympia currently, or can't compete really at all in the IFBB Pro League as far as I know. But I believe, and many do believe, that Shawn Rhoden should be able to compete in the 2021 Mr Olympia, and he should have been able to compete last year in the 2020 Mr Olympia as well. Everyone knows that he does want to compete. He's looking enormous right now. I mean, the biggest he sort of looked ever in his off-season, because typically Shawn will grow into contests. He normally starts his prep, he adds muscle, and he gets lean at the same time, and he does a very, very good job at it. Obviously, good enough to win the 2018 Mr Olympia. Now, I think he's in actually a prime position right now to have an attack on the 2021 Mr Olympia. We all know he can lose the body fat. He's very, very good at actually doing that for his off-season situations. Now, he doesn't really seem to need to add the muscle at this point, so he can basically just concentrate on getting lean from this point in his prep. So he's just upped things recently, training at the Dragon's Lair, moving to Las Vegas, where obviously FlexSource owns that facility. And Stanimal Stan Delonge has actually moved out there, it seems like, or at least he's training out there right now, which is his old training partner from Gold's Gym in Venice. So I think that's a good sign as well. So hopefully things are ramping up and he's actually able to do a prep for that 2021 Mr Olympia. Now, why is the reason I believe this? And it's not just because Stan's out there, it's not just because he's moved to Vegas, but this was posted up by Dave Mad Max, who does the YouTube for Jay Cutler TV, and it says, "It starts," and then he puts a trophy and a medal. Now, obviously, Flex Lewis is hoping to come back at the Open Mr Olympia in 2021, so he's won, obviously, multiple 212 Mr Olympias, but the fact that he put a trophy and a medal, I think it's actually a good sign. So hopefully that means that Dave knows something behind the scenes that we don't. But also, Flex Lewis posted this up on his story, so he shared Dave's post and says, "Top secret, 10 plus 10, massive." So to me, that sort of says that, Flex Lewis knows something we don't know. And hopefully it means that, both these guys are competing in the Open Men's Mr Olympia in 2021. Also, Chris Cormier shared it out on his story as well. And I can't even remember if I saw Shawn Rhoden actually share it out as well. So there's something going on there, and I hope it's the fact that Shawn Rhoden is going to compete in the 2021 Mr Olympia. But let me know what you think in the comments below, or if you know anything on Shawn Rhoden competing in that 2021 Mr Olympia. In our next story, we have an exclusive from Dani Younan. So he's been sort of teasing people lately, saying, which division should I do? He put up this post, sort of doing a men's physique post, saying men's physique, classic, or 212. And we have the news. Dani Younan has told me exclusively that he is doing the classic physique division at the New York Pro in just a couple of weeks' time, or 1.5 weeks' time now, because he's been looking absolutely sensational and been posting up these photos. And many speculated that he may be moving to 212, but that's not the case. He's actually slightly lighter than he was at the Olympia last year, and he looks much bigger. I mean, these are some exclusive photos as well that you're seeing that he's just recently sent to me, and he's looking absolutely insane. I think that this guy, from a front at least, he looks like he's going to be the next classic physique Mr Olympia. Now, he's been a perennial top 10, even, I think top 5 finisher in that classic physique Mr Olympia, and I love his shape. Like I've said to him privately as well, I said, you've sort of got my ideal physique that I would love to have. Now, the knock on Dani's always been from the back, but it seems by recent photos that he's actually made improvements to that back as well. And he said just everything's sort of functioning. So he's been through some, personal hardship after the Olympia. He got COVID, and I think a lot of his family got COVID as well. So Dani's coming through a lot right now, and stuff outside of that as well, which I'm not sure if he wants me to mention or not. But he's been through a ton, and I really hope for the best for Dani Younan. And I think that he's going to be going into that New York Pro, unless we've got some other real high top level names at the Classic Physique Olympia doing that New York Pro. He'll probably go in as the favorite, and he'll probably win that show because he's looking absolutely insane right now. Now, I can't wait to see actually how he does at the Olympia in 2021 in the Classic Physique division, because he can still add weight in this class as well. So if he's looking this good and he's a little bit lighter and he still has 8 pounds to add to his physique, he's going to be trouble. I mean, I think he's going to be probably a top 3, top 2 guy even. So let me know what you think in the comments below. What's the ceiling for Dani Younan in the Classic Physique division at the Olympia? Now, Blessing Awodibu has released the photo that everyone's been waiting for, the photo of the video, whatever way we got to see his quads. We've seen the quads from the front now, posting up, 3 days out, I believe, of the Indy Pro. And his legs are looking pretty damn good. They are definitely in condition. They are better than I thought they would be, for sure. Maybe not to the level of his upper body, but they're not too far behind. And it's actually funny because he's got a slightly similar shape quad as Nick Walker, just a little bit taller and probably not quite as thick. Let me know what you think in the comments below about this quad shot from Blessing Awodibu, because many people said, oh, I don't think he's got legs, he has no legs or whatever. But when you look at his legs, he's got great adductors, which is the muscle just on the inside there of the quad at the top. But when you look at his quad, really, they're not like, it's not like they're grossly undersized or anything like that. They're in great condition. And this is him flat. So he's going to fill out even more than this, and his legs presumably will look even better as well. So I can't wait to see what he looks like on stage. And this is a promising sign, I believe, from Blessing Awodibu, because his legs from the side look really good as well. From the back, maybe they look a little bit slight, but I think this is definitely a good sign. He's got good calves as well, so can't wait to see how Blessing Awodibu does at that Indy Pro. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Will Blessing Awodibu win the 2021 Indy Pro? Because you've got guys like Morgan Asti in there as well. You've got Justin Rodriguez, who really has to come in as the favorite at this show because he's a top 10 Olympian from December last year. It'd be crazy to say he's really not the favorite. And you got a bunch of other good names in there as well, including this guy, Dwayne Walker, who just posted up these photos. This is 4 days out, apparently. He's looking absolutely shredded. When you look at his chest, there is lines upon lines going through that chest, and he's looking really, really good. Now, can he match it size-wise? I think really he does match up pretty good with Blessing, based on the fact that, their legs are both their slightly weaker point, and they do have sort of freaky other body parts. So I think these two are sort of a throwback to yesteryear, where we've got, sort of different looking physiques to the norm. And I absolutely love to see that. I think it's really, really cool. And it shows a bit of uniqueness to the open pro bodybuilding men's, because a lot of these guys tend to start to look the same. The more they take the same sort of drugs, the more they sort of have that similar sort of look to their physiques. And these guys are really throwback, so I really like to see it. But let me know what you think in the comments below. How will Dwayne Walker do at that Indy Pro? Can he even win it? Is there potential for that? Or has he not made the improvements that he needs to make to actually win a show or place top 2 in a show like this? Let me know what you think in the comments below on that. Now, moving on to a guy that has no issues with size, and that's Akim Williams, coming off a 6th place at that 2020 Mr. Olympia back in December. He's looking absolutely huge. I think we're about 12 weeks out of that Chicago Pro now, and this was posted up by Justin Miller, who's a coach of George the Bull Peterson. I don't believe he coaches Akim Williams, unless Akim has left Oscar Arden for Justin Miller, but he did post this up on his Instagram page, and it wasn't actually posted by Akim Williams. Akim's looking absolutely ridiculous here. He is enormous. Like, he is just muscle upon muscle at this point. And it really makes me wonder, because when we saw Akim standing next to Brandon Curry, in some poses you go, wow, Akim looks next level. Now, Brandon's maybe a little bit prettier of a physique, but Akim is bringing the mass. And what he brought to that 2020 Mr. Olympia, in some shots, he was winning them against really top line competitors. And he really made everyone sort of stand up and take notice of how good he actually is. So, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Is Akim a potential future Mr. Olympia? Or is it a potential top 3 at the Mr. Olympia? Let me know what you think in the comments below on Akim's sort of potential. And it's funny saying potential to a guy that's to place top 6 in the Olympia just recently, top 6 in the world. But really, he has potential to even move higher, because he's the highest he's placed, easily in the Olympia. And I can't wait to see what he can actually bring, with a few more years of, having this formula sort of down pat, because he used to sort of struggle with that conditioning. And what he brought to the Olympia was not struggling with conditioning whatsoever. So let me know what you think in the comments below on Akim Williams. Now, I want to make a correction. In not my last video, but the one prior, I did say Regan Grimes still has to qualify for that 2021 Mr. Olympia. I did get that wrong. He did do a show that was after the cutoff of the qualifications for the Mr. Olympia last year. So he got an early qualification for this year's Mr. Olympia in 2021. So I had about 1 million people point that out to me in the comments. So if I do make a mistake, I obviously want to correct it. So I do want to make a correction on that. Regan Grimes is qualified for that 2021 Mr. Olympia. And we really don't have too many guys qualified at this point as well. It's mostly just the top guys from last year's Olympia and a few others. So I just wanted to actually correct that and let you guys know that, yeah, I messed up. And when I do mess up, I generally do try to fix that, because, I do try to bring credible news. And unfortunately, I did slip up and get that one wrong. So also I want to mention as well, for the Indy Pro this weekend, we will have a preview going up very, very soon as well for that, over the next 24 hours or so. And there is going to be a live stream as well. It's at davebowersproductions.com. The link will be in the description below for that one. And it's actually very reasonably priced as well. I think it's only about $20 US, which is very, very reasonable, because last year I think it was paying for some of them were like $39 or $35 US. So this is definitely a reasonable live stream, and hopefully it all goes off without a hitch. So that's it from me, guys. Hope you guys really did enjoy this video. If you did like this video and you do like this content, please subscribe, hit the notification bell button. That way you'll be notified of every video that goes up from myself, Xavier Wills at Desktop Bodybuilding. Also, if you did enjoy this video, please give this video a thumbs up, smash that like button as well. It really does help out the channel. So that's it for me. For Xavier Wills, Desktop Bodybuilding, we are out.